Good evening, guys. So today, I think everyone is from the prediction market space. So I won't be talking about prediction market. I think everyone knows about prediction markets, but let's talk fifth grade, right? So I want to start with something very simple. Every day, all of us wake up and form opinions about markets, about politics, about technology, and what's going to happen next. Think about this as a conference. You can say that how many people are attending the conference. Still, it is a market, right? And uh, we scroll through social media, we read headlines, we watch videos, and somewhere in that process, we make a judgment. So think about opinions like this company is going to win or not, this trend is overhyped or not, this event will happen or not. But here's the interesting part. Right now, these opinions don't really go anywhere. They live in comments, they live in tweets, they live in conversations, but they don't compound, they don't signal, and most importantly, they don't matter economically. Now, on the other side, we have prediction markets. Prediction markets are powerful. They aggregate belief into price. They answer questions like what's the probability of the event happening? And in many cases, they are more accurate than experts. But there's a problem. Prediction markets today are isolated. They exist in a completely different environment from where opinions are actually formed. So you have this disconnect. Social media will give you where beliefs is created. But at the same time, prediction markets is like where beliefs is priced. And these two worlds don't really talk to each other. So we started asking a simple question. What happens if you combine them? So what happens if the moment you form an opinion, you can act on it instantly? Not by leaving the platform, not by opening another app, not by going through friction, but right there in the same flow. Imagine you're scrolling just like you do on TikTok or Instagram. You see a piece of content. Maybe it's about an election, maybe it's about a company, maybe it's about a global event. And instead of just liking it or commenting, you still have you see a simple question. And at the same time, you be able to trade on that particular question. And it is more of like a real kind of a platform. At the same time, you be able to trade, right? So that is something which we wanted to get through the shift. So from passive consumption to active participation, from opinions to positions, and from noise to signal. Because here's the truth, social media today is incredibly powerful. But it's not incredibly, it's at the same time, it's very noisy too. So there's no cost to being wrong, there's no reward to being right in current social media platforms. So everyone has an opinion, but not all opinions are equal. So prediction markets solve that. They introduce skin to the game, they force clarity, they reward convictions, and when you combine that with the scale of social media, that something new emerges. You don't just get markets, you get a living, breathing system of the belief, where attentions become data, engagement becomes signal, and the convictions become capital. And this is where it gets really interesting, because now you're not just building a trading platform, you're building a new economic layer on top of the internet, top of the prediction markets. Think about in this way. Platforms like Instagram and TikTok monetizes attention. But financial platforms like Robinhood monetize trading. But there's nothing today that monetizes the understanding of what the world believes. This gap is what Opinion Kings is building. A place where if you understand something before others, if you see patterns early, if you have insights, you can express it, you can act on it, and you can benefit from it. And the benefit is like in an economical indicator, which is like dollar or whatever. So, and over time, something powerful happens. The system starts to surface who consistently makes the good calls, who understands specific domains deeply, who has real signals versus noise. So the current social media platforms have like too much noise, but they don't have an economic value to it. Now creators aren't just influencers at this point. They become information nodes. Their content doesn't drive engagement, it drives markets. And their audience doesn't just watch, they participate too. This creates an entirely new kind of economy, one that is driven by attention, insight, and conviction. And importantly, it's global because opinions doesn't have borders. And neither should markets around them. So when we talk about building Opinion Kings, we are just building another trading app. We are building what we believe is a social native layer of prediction markets. A system where information flows seamlessly into action belief becomes measurable, and collective intelligence becomes economically useful. And if you zoom out, this is a part of bigger shift. The internet is moving from content to interaction, interaction to ownership, and from ownership to now decision making. We've already seen how powerful is this, like social media platforms are. You can share content, you can connect with others, you can own the digital assets too. But at this point, the engagement in these platforms are happening through shares and likes. But think about what the thesis behind Opinion Kings is, we don't monetize based on the likes or shares, but we monetize based on what they're trading on. So it is like the trading value what we provide to as a platform. Because in the end of the day, the future isn't just about information, it's about what we do with it. And we believe the next generation of platforms will be built around this idea, not just consuming the world, but participating and shaping it. And something we believe is like social media is a layer where people talk about things what is happening, at the same time they be able to trade. So that is what Opinion Kings is building around.